In this video, let's start with the first IIT JEE problem which was asked in the year 1983 for 1 mark. We are actually starting the series of IIT JEE problems based on continuity and differentiability, and this is the first IIT JEE problem we are taking into consideration. The problem says the function fx is equal to log 1 plus ax minus log 1 minus bx is not defined at x is equal to 0. The value which should be assigned to the function at x is equal to 0 so that it is continuous at x is equal to 0 is. So there are 4 options. The 4 options are namely a plus b, a minus b, log a plus log b and none of these. That means it has been said that the function is given to you and till now it is not defined that x is equal to 0, and you have to suggest a value so that it becomes continuous at x is equal to 0. So first of all, let's go back to our concepts of continuity. A given function is continuous at a defined value if what happens? If limit of the function at x tends to that value is equal to the value of the function itself. Let me start with the solution and then things become more clear. What I mean to say is, if I have been given a function fx and we are talking about x is equal to 0, so for continuity, limit x tends to 0 fx should be equal to f of 0. That is meant by continuity. So I write for continuity. The first thing is this into consideration. Now what is the limit fx x tends to 0 in the case of the given problem? So that means nothing but limit x tends to 0 for this above fx. What is fx? Let's copy it as it is. Log 1 plus ax minus log 1 minus bx upon x. And that should be equal to f of 0. F of 0 means what is the value of this thing when 0 is put. But that is for continuity. Till now it is not continuous. We have to suggest a value so that it becomes continuous. And out of these 4 options we have to choose one. Now let's compute the limit. Let's start with computing the limit. The first thing, whenever you see something called as log 1 plus something, you have already studied in your junior class of class 11th that limit x tends to 0 log 1 plus x upon x. What is the value of this? Yes, my dear friends, you remember the formula, I hope. It should be equal to 1. So we'll be using this concept to solve our problem. Log 1 plus whatever is there, that should be there in the denominator also. Now, log m minus log n is given. X can be definitely separated. So the next step which I should follow in order to solve my problem is, first of all, separating the limits. And here also I need to separate the limits, so it becomes limit x tends to 0 log 1 minus bx upon x. The other thing that I should be taking care, 1 plus x was there, so in denominator x is there. Here 1 plus ax is there, so in denominator ax should be there. For the presence of a, I need to multiply a here, so here also I need to take into consideration a, that is multiplying and dividing by a. Similarly, when x was there in plus, what happened? X was there in the denominator in plus. But here minus b is there, so here also it should be minus b, here also it should be minus b. Now what is the value of this internal thing? Especially when the limit is x tends to 0 and you name it, what is the value of this internal thing? Especially when the value is given to you as limit x tends to 0. So it is nothing but giving me 1. From 1 I can say, let me name it 1. So I directly write from 1, right? So from 1 it becomes 1 multiplied by a minus, this whole thing again gives me 1. So it is 1 multiplied by minus b. So a ones is a, minus minus is plus b. So the answer should be plus b. A plus b. Where is a plus b? Let's see. It is nothing but option number A is the answer. So you see, the question was not difficult if you knew the previous knowledge. So it is not that if the chapter is about continuity, the problem is about continuity, it should be related only to class +2 level. No, it can be even related to something called as class 10th. You do not know, because IIT JEE involves hybrid questions. Most of the concepts are 2 or 3 involved in one particular question.